It's no secret that Hollywood would often embellish a few details to engage audiences and increase ticket sales. Films like Paranormal Activity and The Conjuring are said to be based on true events. How much of what we see is fact or fiction?
The Conjuring films were based on the paranormal investigations of Ed and Lorraine Warren and were very, very popular at the time of their release. Although some of the events shown in the movies were true, a lot was added to embellish the story. One of the biggest embellishments in The Conjuring 2 is the involvement of the Warrens in the investigation of the case. It is reported that the Warrens had almost no involvement in the Enfield poltergeist, but were in fact only present for one day of the case. It is indeed true that Janet Hodgson and her sister did play with the Ouija board before the haunting started, and this just shows how dangerous it is to mess around with the Ouija board.
Some depictions are the absolute truth, some are embellished, and others can just be absurd. In the film The Unborn, a woman is haunted by an evil spirit who wants to use her death as physical entry into our world.
We're all very intuitive beings, so we will know when something feels evil or when something feels good. If you make connection or you feel or smell or hear your grandmother by you, you will feel calm and content if that's the feeling you had with her. However, if you're lying in bed and you feel like something isn't right, scared, sweating, maybe shivering, that is something that is of a more darker nature or a more earthbound nature. I wouldn't say that an unborn soul that is part of a soul group can haunt us as such. It's more a loving feeling because we're all part of a bigger family. However, earthbound souls don't all have to be evil. Sometimes they're just looking for help. Our souls are always connected to our bodies via an invisible cord, almost like an umbilical cord, until the day we die. It is very possible for spirits to come and hook onto us or latch onto us when our energy is very low. But to take over our bodies, it takes more than just coming into our space. We need to be at a certain energy level, almost like having too much drugs, drinking too much, hanging around places that have got very low level energies, and we ourselves need to be very depressed or down in the dumps in order for anything to hook itself or latch itself onto our bodies.
In Ouija, Origin of Evil, a widowed mother of two runs a seance scam. To up the ante of her show, she buys a Ouija board, not knowing that it will invite a dark, evil presence into their home.
Cinema is a visual medium whereby the directors and producers of Hollywood try to invoke an emotion and feeling by showing us very terrifying events and scenarios. But I think what we need to remember is that the body is not a physical entity. It is just a very dense energy. So whether a spirit or an entity sits on us, like I often see, or goes within us, is not really relevant because it's the same thing. I have not experienced something as violent as what you see in this movie. It is more that I see maybe dark energies as big as this, that one can call monkeys, that bounce around, and when we are terribly tired or hanging out in places that have got very low level energies, that these monkeys attach themselves onto our energy, not entirely to possess us, but to pull our energy from us because they need energy to live. What can happen to us then is that we then develop spasms in our back, we have headaches, we feel incredibly tired or very negative, or can even cause fights within our relationships. Hollywood does go to extensive research to show that these movies are based on true events. However, I do believe that a lot of these parts are also there for our mere entertainment. I would say, however, that one needs to be aware before meddling in anything of this sort, because there can be dangers if you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
We all enjoy, shall we say, putting our toe in the cold water of fear.